You're about to watch a clip from the Videomaker podcast. To watch or listen to the full episode, click the link in the description. Okay, so how about the next one? Zoom. This is not a camera move, really. I mean, you're moving in the elements of your lens.
Yeah, you're showing less field of view. But zoom these days. When was the last time you saw a zoom that was tactfully used for something? Like about the best example I could ever find is the extreme close-up on Wayne's World or something, when they're like, just totally mocking being able to do these snap zooms.
One I would say you see a lot, and this is one of those things where when you're in video, you see this, and maybe most people don't see it. So subject in a movie or an interview is getting to a dramatic moment,
yes,
and you see a very slow, very subtle zoom in, and it maybe the camera's moving closer, but it's so subtle, so small that you can't really tell the difference there.
Totally. Well, and that would be a time where I could hear a director saying, we want to do a push in on this.
Yeah.
And they, by saying push in, might mean, okay, I want to get a dolly out here and I want to push the whole truck towards the subject, or they could just mean, I want to do a slight zoom here. So, sometimes those words I think are interchangeable for the sake of they're meant to go to the next guy that's actually going to make the choice of what tool he's going to use to do that feeling that the director just asked for.
Right. So I've seen that a lot. And anyone who hasn't seen it, now that I've said it out loud, you'll probably see it all the time.
Yeah.
In dramatic moments in movies. In fact, that's one of those things where if you're watching a movie and someone is not being dramatic, they're just like speaking, but the camera is starting to push in just a little bit, very subtly, you can expect a dramatic moment to happen very soon.
Yeah. And this is something that although I use, I don't do it in camera. So I tend to shoot over the resolution that I am producing in, and I'm doing this through scale of the video in post. So, it's like, oh, the shot's too static, or I did an interview and we're just going to get to this really peak moment in the interview, and a tear's going to fall from his eye. And of course, I need to get tighter in that, right? So you time in, then you could just do it with scale of going, okay, I'm going to push in so that right when that tear's there, I'm a close up and no one really realized that we got there because it was so subtle or whatnot. But like just the zoom, like the zoom rocker you're using on your camcorder, or really, I guess there's plenty of if you have a servo controlled zoom on a interchangeable lens camera, that it's more helpful to get to a different field of view and using it to just frame, and then it is, I think, even used amongst a capture of a scene or whatever you're doing. It's like it's more so just using the zoom function on this lens to get to different framing.
Yeah, exactly. This is one of those things where you saw a lot more zooms back when people were using camcorders with the zoom rocker. Now you don't see it quite so much because we don't have the super smooth zoom control on a typical camera lens, DSLR or mirrorless lens. So people just set the zoom to whatever they need and they shoot. No zoom rockers mean generally people aren't zooming inside of their shot nearly as much.
Yeah, well, I think it's also, it's so I can think of a lot of 70s and late 60s movies that have like long zooms that are obviously manually zoomed zooms that are, just a little weary, as they're getting pushed in or pull out. But I think it's as the camera movement, the things we're going to move into next, which are the tools of actually moving around, that as sliders and dollies became smaller, lighter, easier to put into place, and cheaper, they became a better tool to get that same feeling. So zooms became obsolete they're just more rarely used because there might be a tool that you can use that'll have far nicer feeling that really isn't it's not like bringing in a crane to get a shot of a big building or some kind of thing that you need. You can bring in small stuff now and not have, it's not as a burden to get that into a production day more than just that one shot. Too big a production, you're not getting too many shots in it a day.
Yeah.